Hey, everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. We're going to spend a little time talking about the library. Jessica Mouton is, of course, the public relations coordinator for the Tier 1 Parish Library. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Last time I saw you was a big event coming up. Comic-Con came, and you said it was a big success, right?
Yes, we had so many people that showed up on both days. Our vendors were in some ways overwhelmed in a good way. They had a lot of great success with selling and promoting their items. And our panels were really successful too on both days.
Yeah.
So overall, people had really good fun at this event.
You said it had, was it 48 booths? You had booths all over the library, right?
Yes, we were fitting them every single place that we could. And we're lucky with the 70,000 square feet. We fit as many people as we could invite.
And a couple thousand people came through and got to see the library. Maybe came for a different reason, but then got to see with the resources you have there.
Right. We try to promote the program as much as possible, but also our regular patrons who may not know about the Comic-Con also gave them a warning about there may be more people in here than there may be different things going on. Right. Maybe a little more, especially for our people who come often to study too. So if they're looking for a quiet place, maybe the library wasn't it that day.
Yeah, it's hard to shush 2,000 people. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So as we come nowadays, so you're going to have a books on the Bayou. What is that all about?
So the Books for the Bayou is the local authors day that we host at the library. It's once a year. This is the place that we can help promote our local authors. I have more than a dozen authors that have signed up for the program that have been accepted. We have local authors such as Alexis Bro. She wrote 1 2 Rougarou children's book. We will have Jonathan Foray there. He is the director of the Wetlands Museum. He is the author of The Fly That Fell Off the Handle and another children's book. But we have other authors there too, such as Anna Bradford. She is a local adult writer. And we have other adult writers and children's authors too. So it's a way to support our local authors for being able to help promote their items in a way and in a space that is made for them.
Right. You said you have 12 so far. Is this a good incubator for literature around the area? I think you already said it. A couple of them were children's books. Do we have different kind of authors from around the area? How fertile is this area for authors?
There is a lot of need for support for authors in this area. This is the one way we can offer it to be able to help promote them and get their word out about their items, because some people may not have the access to be able to promote their items in certain ways. So this is a way that, as the library, we can help plug those authors.
Do we have a niche in this area? Like I said, animation, is it more of like children's books, animation, alligators, and, you know, that kind of stuff? Or is there no niche that I know Dr. Sinak, you know, had written a lot of the history of Terrebonne and that kind of stuff. Do we have a wide variety of different authors, or is it, like I say, a niche area?
For considering the authors that will be present that have applied to be a part of the program, we have a wide variety of authors for children's books and ages for children's books, and also for adult books too. There are people who have memoirs, they have poetry, they have self-help books, and all of them have their various credentials that people can look into whenever they go. And they can also meet the author, get autographs for the books. I know, for instance, Jonathan Foray, with his book that he had for sale at the Ladybug Ball, they had signed the books. They sold out of all their books.
Oh, nice.
So people who may have wanted one at that time, they can come here and get one. Hopefully he doesn't run out again, but that'll also be a success for him too if he does.
Yeah, when you're talking about local media, how local are we talking about? Anybody from South Louisiana, or is it Tier 1 Parish, or is it, how local are we talking about?
So for local, we consider most of our service area. So for instance, the library is run off of a sales tax. And because a lot of people who live in another parish, they work in Terrebonne Parish or they spend their money in Terrebonne Parish, we actually have it to where patrons can get a library card if they're from Terrebonne Parish, Lafourche, or St. Mary.
In the days of new media, you know, where everything's online, people may blog, how important is books nowadays, and how different is it to get something published? Is there a publisher, a local publisher, or how does that work to get published?
So there are a lot of channels. The major three that people consider are one, self-publishing, where you do it yourself. Another one is for people who are considering the college press, so like LSU Press, that type, on a smaller scale of printing. And then some people go with full publishers where they sign contracts, deal with royalties, stuff a little more involved with planning for future books. For a lot of people that will be at this event, some of them are on a smaller press scale or self-published. So a lot of the items will be available online through ebook. So some authors said that they will only have ebooks available and pushing those items out for people to buy them online, but they will still get to go and meet the author in person. So, and some people do have fan clubs too.
Yeah,
for people that
right.
like their
Yeah.
work and they want to see them in person.
Yeah, well, you know, look, that's still a big part of it. When I listen to people on podcasts or whatever, they still go to the bookstores, and you know, every time they want to sell a book, you know, that's a big part of what they do. Do we? I shouldn't ask you a question. You might be. Do we have a most famous or biggest writer that's from this area?
So one of the larger writers that you would consider from this area would be Ken Wells. So he does not live in this area anymore, but he does travel here back a lot for book readings, signings, and also just family in the region too.
What kind of writing would he do, and what kind of books would he do?
He does adult fiction. So his area of interest is something that potentially not a lot of people may have written in this area. But in terms of how much people actually write in this area, a good bit of people do memoirs and stuff about the region. So either
History.
nonfiction, like, you know, Dr. Sinek, or just about them living in the area, because people think it's, you know, crazy to think that you would drive, 20 miles to get to a town, or that you would take a canoe up the bayou to get to, get your groceries once a week.
Y'all got a lot of stuff going on October, November, and the fall. So y'all bringing a lot of stuff. We got this heat out of the way right now. Everybody can get in the library and do some reading.
Yeah, so our programs from the summer, they just keep steamrolling into the fall, and we have a lot coming up in October as well.
Yeah, so Carnival Night. So that'll be Tuesday, October 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. That's at the main library.
Yes.
What's a Carnival Night?
So we reimagine the main library as a carnival. We have different booths and themes set up to make it look like the inside of a carnival. A lot of people on staff are dressed up like clowns and different things to do with carnivals. And we have a lot of games that kids can play. So there's interactive parts that don't award tickets or punches on a card, such as the fake tattoo station where you get the little part with the sponge in the water. There's different string things, and we have a lot of games such as where you toss the bag, like cornhole kind of style. Knock the cans over, that kind of thing. So everybody, every kid that comes in, they will get a little card to stamp. And then when they get so many stamps, they can go to the prize counter and they can get all their prizes.
I got you. So what's your demographic for that? What you looking at age-wise?
This program is more intended for families and children under 12. So it's a really big deal for the area that there's not much else like this. There's trunk or treats at different places. Right. There's different Halloween-based things. This is our Halloween themed. This is Carnival Night. Right. This is everybody's invited. It's a carnival of fun. So we welcome everybody. All families are welcome.
Again, that's Tuesday, October 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. And yeah, reading's not scary enough. You can dress up as clowns. Come on.
I promise they're nice clowns.
Now later on on display. So on display means it's there for the whole 2 months, right?
Yes, so currently on display.
And this is the Andrews Sisters and the Queens of the Jukebox exhibit. I was telling you, I grew up with this kind of music. My dad loved swing, and he loved to dance and that kind of stuff. And we all know the Company B song, the Bugle Boy of Company
Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy of Company B. Yeah.
And that was the Andrews Sisters, right? So tell me what this exhibit is about.
So the Friends of the Library were fortunate enough to be awarded a grant by the Bayou Regional Arts Council through the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government's grant cycle for the arts. And we were able to secure this exhibit that we can have at the library. It talks about the life and the impact of the Andrews Sisters, not only on music history, but on military history as well. A little known fact about them is they are heavily tied to military history and imagery, but they traveled all over different countries to entertain the troops while they were at service. And actually, one of the times that they performed, they at the end of their performance, they told all the troops that they weren't being sent out, that the war was over, they had surrendered, and you're going home. So it was one of the things that they were able to impact not only the families, but they have a wide variety of musical achievements, including 40 top hit songs, and they've sold an estimated 80 million records. So they have a very large history, and we just don't want that to be lost to history as well. So we want people to be able to remember them.
Yeah, well, I guess I always considered them military too. Is that they dress that way mostly because of that one song, or?
Well, they traveled a lot. A lot of their music is military type based to help rally support around the war and for the United States to be successful. Right. So they kept morality up, and they also they played the part. They dressed in the style that you would be if you were in the service.
Sure. And really, everybody was, right? In the World War back then, a lot of the men had to go to war, but a lot of the women took those jobs that they needed.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was a team effort for sure.
Yes.
At that point.
So that display will be at the main library on the second floor from October to the end of November. There is an interactive QR code. So if you see the sign by the exhibit, you scan it with your phone, and you get access to a playlist curated by the library where you can listen to their music.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and you can see from there, they're not always dressed in military as they're ones on the outside. And then at the end, obviously this is a different type of deal, but looking for a meaningful gift in lieu of flowers, help out the library.
So the library has always had the option for people to donate an item through a memorial book. This is something that we are starting to push again, just because there's a lot of people who, whenever there's the death of a loved one, they're not really sure what to do. Everybody thinks to send flowers or try to cook food or so. This is a way that you can memorialize the loved one that you have for years to come. And the donation of a minimum of $25 will help secure a high-quality hardback book that can travel through the hands of patrons for years to come with a book plate memorializing your loved one. So it doesn't have to just be for someone who's passed away or someone that's current. And it can also be for specific subjects or titles. So if you know that your loved one is a big person into gardening, then you can suggest maybe they buy a gardening book to put that person's name in.
That's cool. How many books right now would you say have nameplates like that?
Thousands. Guaranteed thousands. And I myself actually have come across a book or two where I've opened it up and I've recognized the name of the person in there. Not only seen it, but I've recognized the name of the person in there. So it's a really meaningful gift that you don't know how many people it can touch either, because your donation also guarantees that the memory of them and, for instance, the subject that they loved continues on.
Yeah, absolutely. Jessica, appreciate the update, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. We'll be right back with more Bayou Time after this.